Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Today's talk is by Sheikh Walid Basuni on benefiting from khutbah. Inshallah, the talk will be until 9 p.m. There will be a short Q&A session. Please only ask questions on topic. Text your questions to the number given. The Sheikh is from America. He is part of Al Maghrib Institute. He is very knowledgeable. Inshallah, we will benefit from his words of wisdom.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As Killian said, Sheikh Walid is director or vice president of Al Maghrib Institute. He is an Egyptian living in the United States and one of the most famous lecturers on Islam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him and to give us the benefit from his knowledge. One thing that the Sheikh told me now, he felt that he wants to speak about a topic which is more beneficial to us. So rather than speaking about maximizing the Jumu'ah, he would be speaking about how to have a happy social life. So today's topic, inshallah, is having a happy social life within the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now we move the floor to the Sheikh. Jazakumullah khair.
It's up to you guys. What do you like? Both are available. We can talk about how to maximize our benefit from Khutbah al-Jumu'ah. But the Shaykh was telling me he gave you several lectures already about the etiquettes of Jumu'ah. That's encouraged me to push the other topic as well. And the other one is how to have a happy social life. Which one do you guys want to have? Okay? I'm happy. Yeah, the key point is the happy. طيب بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, his family, his companion and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam his last and final messenger. Dear brothers and sisters, I'm very happy and excited to be with you tonight. SubhanAllah, I've been visiting the UK all the way north from Glasgow all the way down here to London, or all the way to this point now. And tomorrow, inshallah, heading back home. And I wasn't planning to be here tonight. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His wisdom and grace and mercy, give me this opportunity to meet even more community. And the invitation was given to me by this wonderful family, Jazakumullah khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them tremendously. How to have a happy social life. A human being is a social creature by nature. Al-insan بطبيعته is a social person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created us naturally like to socialize with others. That's why we call human beings in Arabic language, we call them what? Nas. And Nas originally comes from al-wanas, which is a person. Al-wanas, it means when you feel comfortable because there is voices and around you. That's what the word nas originally means. Nas, it means the voices or the sound that comes from people around you. When they talk to each other, that's called wanas, or the original root of the word nas, min nawas, which is that voices that you became comfortable to hear. So even the word that would choose to the name that was given in Arabic language originally to the human being is a word express his social nature. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, Adam was alone and he felt so lonely, so lonely. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for him who? Eve. Hawa created for him Eve. And He created Hawa for him for his social need before any other need. Yani Hawa was created for Adam to fulfill his social needs before any other needs that he might have at that point. That's why even your spouse fulfill one of the most important needs of your life, which is your social need. a companionship, a companionship. So human beings, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. O you men, surely we have created you from created you of a male and a female, and made you tribes and families and nations. He did not make us individuals. He made us tribes, nations, families. That's how he made human beings. So human beings by nature, they are very social creatures, very social creatures. And we cannot deny this fact that we are by nature social. But also at the same time, you might find among us people, their social skills is different from one another. Their social interest is different from one another. We are not the same. We're not the same. Some of us are more social than others. Some of us maybe even have a social phobia, as we say. Some people, they don't like to socialize. It's very rare. Social anxiety disorder is not rare, actually. It's a very common. You know, I don't know about the UK, but in the United States, for example, it is the largest psychological problems. It's the third psychological problems in the United States in general. Comes number 3. So I would assume it's the same thing here. The social anxiety disorder is a common disease that psychiatrists and psychologists deal with, and that's not my area, that's not my specialty, that's not what I want to talk about today. But what way I want to talk about is our social life, especially us as a Muslim community, who, alhamdulillah, we socialize with each other in the masjid. We meet each other in the masjid every day. We meet each other in Jumu'ah every week. We, unfortunately, is not as it should be that we go visit one another at homes. Social life became less and less today with this modern technology. And it's very ironic, don't you agree with me? That the more social media we have, the less social interaction we have. Now you go to Costa to buy a coffee, you stay in the line, nobody talks to anybody anymore. Everybody is like, in his phone talking or text messaging. We don't say, hey, good morning, sir, how are you doing? What's your day? Even people say America, very friendly people. Even this is not anymore existent anywhere you go to. People became less interacting with others. And it's so interesting to see even us as a Muslim community, who there is so many other reasons beside naturally we are social, encourage us to be a social creature. Became more social with our friends. So, what does happy social life looks like? How happy social life looks like? It is to have a social confidence. That's number 1. My opinion. Happy social life, it's to have social confidence. You are confident in your skill that you can initiate talk with others. And also, you feel that you can interact with others freely, in a friendly manner, and to be loved by others, and to live in peace with them. That's how you call it a happy social life. Your ability to communicate freely, to interact with people, to live in peace, no fight. You don't have problems with the neighbors, have no problem with your family members, with your in-laws, with your co-workers, and so forth. But I want you to pay attention to something here very important. Your success in your social life does not necessarily depend on how people react and how people treat you. It's actually related to how you act with people. How successful you are, not how they are towards you. Because you might, it is your success always depends on something that you have control over it. And that's number 1 key success in life. Don't ever make your success in life depends on something you have no control over it. And I give you an example because this is a very important point. One time I asked parents, a couple of, fathers, and I asked this question very often to fathers. I said, how would you define yourself as a successful father? What makes you a good father, a successful father? My kids became religious. My kids memorized the Quran. That's the common answer I get. My kids get a good degree. My daughter get married to a nice guy and to be happy in her life. My kids go to Jannah. That's all the answers that I got. And I said to them, those people who give me those answers, and maybe some of you have these answers, unfortunately I can tell you that the sad news is, I don't think you will ever be satisfied with yourself. Why? Because you have defined your success, and you made your success on the hand of somebody else, which is your kids. And your success as the father has to do anything with your kids. It has to do with you. So when he say, my kids to have a happy marriage, it's not in your hand to make it a happy marriage. It's not in your hand to have a good husband for your daughter. It's not in your hand for your son to be religious. It's not in your hand your son to go to Jannah. You don't own Jannah. You don't control that. You don't control any one of these points. That's why you would never feel satisfied. And you will be always live your life in an anxiety and unrest and no peace in your life. Why? Because you have made your life depend on something you have no control over it. A smart father would say, I will be a successful father if I was able to teach my kids Islam. That's something I have control over. They take it, they don't take it, they apply it, they don't apply it. Has nothing to do with my success as a father. I did my role. My successful father, if I taught my daughter how to find the good husband, how to be a good wife, how to be a good mother, when this is something I have control over. I cannot have, if somebody said, my kids love Quran. I can't make them love Quran. But I will say, successful father, if I provide the proper education about Quran for my kids. I told my kids about the deen. I did my part. And that's how you will be successful and you will feel rest in your life. So the same concept here in social life, I want you from the beginning to realize that your success depends always on what you have control over in your own life. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never ever ask you to be in charge of something you have no control over it. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما أتاها إلا وسعها. Only what Allah gave you, what Allah make you have control over, that's what you're responsible for. Not anything else, not anything else. صح عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال المؤمن يألف ويؤلف. The Prophet ﷺ said that al-mu'min is a person who can be easily loved. People can he is a friendly, or she, they are friendly, and you can be friend with. That's the nature of the mu'min. المؤمنون هينون لينون كالجمل الأنف إن قيدا قاد وإن استنيخ على صخرة استراخ والأنف من الأنف وهو البعير الذي يقاد من أنفه. It means that the Prophet ﷺ said the mu'min are easygoing, are nice, gentle. They are like the camel, which is the Prophet ﷺ said, and which is basically there are certain camels so friendly, so obedient that you can pull. Usually they put like it's like what you have today, the nose pierce. Yeah, they put it in the nose of the camel, and you just pull the camel from that, pierce that you put it in the nose. You just pull the camel; it will come with you. He said that's how the mu'mins are. How the mu'mins are. Very easy to go, very easygoing, very nice, very friendly. People that you'd like to be with. That's the nature of the believers. So let's see what can make our social life very successful, or we have a happy social life. I have 15 points, so that's too many points. But you don't need to apply all of them. Maybe pick 3 or 4 you like and stick to them. Okay? So if you don't remember all the 15, I'm fine. Don't be sad. But at least pick 5 of them. because not everyone will apply to each and every one of us. That's why I get all the 15. And I'm going to start with number 15 from the bottom up. Number 15, which is, I'll start from number 15. You need to realize that pleasing all people is impossible. And it is not what's going to make you happy. Realize what they said in the old days. طلبوا رضا الناس غاية لا تدرك. Pleasing people is impossible. All people is impossible. You know, they said a joke. A man with his son were walking and they have a donkey. So the father was on the donkey, riding the donkey, and the son walking. People said, oh, he has no mercy for his son. So he let his son ride the donkey with him. They said, oh, has no mercy on the donkey. So they both walk. So he let the son walk and the father. Oh, he has no respect for the father. They both walk and nobody on the donkey. They said, oh, what a stupid fool couples. They have the donkey and not riding it and they walking beside it. Then finally they carried the donkeys. So, I mean, if you try to please people, it's never going to end. So make number one rule that this is to have a happy social life. Allah not asking you to make everybody happy. That's not your God. That's not your responsibility. So what you try to do the right thing. To do the right thing. But some people, they feel that they have to please people. And sometimes, a'udhu billah, they please people even if they displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They care so much about pleasing people that they're willing even to displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he thinks that because I don't want them to get mad at me, I cannot say, hey, stop, this is ghibah, this is backbiting. I can't be part of that. You want to be in my house? No gossip, sorry. So sister will fear that they're going to talk bad about her, or they're not going to love her. Or a brother, he's not going to be like a cool guy to hang out with. No, this is haram, I stop. Not because I want to please them, I displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So rule number one, it is basically, or number 15, that remember that you need to realize that pleasing all people is impossible. And it is not what's going to make you happy anyway. Number 14, self-confidence. Self-confidence is absolutely important to build a happy social life. And this is maybe the most important element that destroy your social life when you have a lack of confidence in yourself. Because, believe it or not, the way you see yourself, that's exactly the way people will see you. So make sure that you build, good self-confidence. Don't walk around with your head down, low, thinking that you have nothing to offer to others. Don't come to a group of people or when you enter a conversation, don't think of yourself less. Don't think of yourself that you have something to apologize for it. Sometimes, I'll tell you, sometimes I go to meetings, okay, interfaith meetings. So I have this brother with me. It's a group. We have people from churches, from different community, not even faith-based communities. And this brother with me, the first thing said, I'm sorry, my name is very hard to be pronounced, so I just want to... I said, why are you so apologetic? What's so about your name is very... their name is very hard for me to pronounce it too. Do you think their names are very easy for me to pronounce? Why would you say, this person cannot have a good social life? Because you always feel that less than the other people. I don't need to feel less. I need to feel confidence. And by the way, there's a big difference between confidence and kibr. Confidence is something the Sharia wants you to have. But kibr is not something the Sharia wants you to have. What is kibr? What's arrogant? Arrogant, the Prophet defined it. It is to see people less, and basically, and to reject the truth when it appears to you. To see everybody less than you. That's why, brothers and sisters, humility, tawada, is not to think less of yourself. Humility is to think less about yourself. A big difference. You don't think less of yourself. You think less about yourself. So as Muslim, we've not been ordered to that. بالعكس, we have something called al-izzah. Al-izzah lillah wa rasul al-mu'mineen. Izzah, it's one of the concept, one of the meaning of confidence. That you have that self-confidence, which is not arrogant again. It is where basically you have that self-confidence, self-assuring. So, remember that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. When you enter in any friendship, in any conversation, I'm not entitled to prove myself to anyone. You are unique the way you are. You are unique the way you are. You know, as I always say, everybody unique in his own way, and that's absolutely true. So what you need to do, always look for the good things that you have, what you can offer people, and that will ensure a good, happy life for you. Also, one of the things that I would like you to look at, which is number 13, it will assure you a good, happy social life, that you focus on your own business. Good social life, it doesn't mean you put your nose in other people's business. So many times, you know, I found people's nose in my business and have to give it back to them. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Sometimes people just put themselves, okay, and I noticed this in some community. It's a culture. مثلا, somebody said, MashaAllah, what do you do? I teach. How much you make? How much? This is your business. How much you make? How much they pay you for that, Sheikh? What's your business for that? Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Where are you? It's not your business where I am. Why you ask, where are you? What you doing? You know, don't put your people in other people's business. That's a bad manner. We need to learn to respect people's privacy. That simple thing, but believe me, people don't like to hang with people like that, who always ask questions like this. Oh, mashallah, you got this house with riba or no riba? Mortgage or no mortgage? You know, halal or haram? How much you pay for it? Where did you get the money from? How much the car cost you? What are you going to do? No, that's not a happy social life. That person, no one want to hang out with her or with him. And that's not right. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ماذا قال؟ قال من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. One of the signs of your good Islam is to focus in your own matters, and you don't involve yourself in matters that doesn't concern you. It doesn't concern you. And we need to learn that. We need to learn that. And the worst part of it, my brothers and sisters, which has ruined our social life, and it's absolutely haram, when we start looking after people's faults and we expose it. تتبع عورات الناس, which is basically you look after people's faults and mistakes and problems, and you just, oh, did you hear what happened in his house? Last night they were fighting. What are they fighting about? And you say, oh, they were fighting. They got the police. She divorced him. She did this. He did that. And all the time that people just digging in other people's business, and to expose it sometimes, even that's worse. That's even worse. And in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he said, "Man tatabba awrat al-nas, tatabba Allahu awrata hatta yafdaha fi qa'ri baytih." Whoever look after people's mistakes and faults to spread it around, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose his hidden mistakes, even if it's done inside his house. You know, and thanks for Facebook. You know, make everybody knows everybody else's business.
This is the media.
Yeah, it's interesting. The media, like for example, reality shows and stuff like that. You know, it gives you that habit of looking in. But at least this is with people's permission. That's fine, you know. But the problem is when people develop the habit of putting their nose in other people's businesses and looking for things that it doesn't concern them. One of the things that will help you to have a very good social life, to learn how to forgive. You want to have a good social life, you need to learn how to forgive. Why? Because nobody is perfect. What Shafi rahimahullah said, لا تأخذن بعثرة كل قوم ولكن قل هلم إلى الطريق فإنك إن تأخذ بعثرتهم يقل وتبقى وحدك في الطريق. If you pick on everybody's his own mistake or her own mistake, you know you're going to be left alone. You need to learn to know that people make mistakes, and you need to learn to let it go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, which is khayr, better than what Shafi'i said, وَلَمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. One of the great things is to have the ability to be patient and ability to forgive. And the ability to forgive is a very high level. It's not an easy thing. And you will be able to forgive other people who commit wrongs to you. Akhi, you don't forgive me when you don't forgive people who did nothing to you. No. You forgive people who have done wrong to you. Al-Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, right before he died, a man came hiding his identity, covering his face, sneak and to walk between the crowd. Imam Ahmad, everybody want to look at him. And you don't know how much this man, in the end of his life, everybody just want to have a glimpse of him. Not even Muslim, even non-Muslim. His doctor, a Christian. He came to Imam Ahmad, he said, my priest, his wishes in life to see you before you die. Can you give him permission? Then Imam Ahmad said, yes, he can come. To that extent, even non-Muslim would love to see Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah. So this is that's why you imagine upon his death how crowded the house was. And this man came in between the crowd, covering his face, and he came next to Imam Ahmad's feet. And he said, Ya Imam. And he uncovered his face. And he said, remember me? He said, yes, I do. He said, would you forgive me? He says, yes, I do. Then his son said, Ya Abati, how can you forgive him? Who's that man? This is the Jallad. This is the soldier who used to hit Imam Ahmad he whipped Imam Ahmad when Imam Ahmad was in jail. This man said, Wallahi, I used to whip Imam Ahmad and hit Imam Ahmad back. Wallahi, if I hit an elephant, I would break the elephant's back. He came to Imam before he died. He said, please forgive me. He said, Wallahi, I forgave you the same night that day, or the same day that day, when I went back to cell. I forgave you. Then his son, he said, how? Why did you do that, father? Then Imam Ahmad told him, son, what do you say? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَنْ عَفَى وَأَصْلَحَ فَأَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Those who forgive and aslah, even basically improve, go back to good relationship with the person after you forgive that person. Ajruhu ala Allah, the reward belongs to Allah, because the reward is so much. Allah, the only one, knows how much of reward you're going to get. Then he said, yes, son, what you talking about? Yes, I'll forgive him because of that. That's why, brothers and sisters, when Allah described the believers, the mu'mineen, how He described him, He said, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. In Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the believer, those who always run fast to the mercy and to the forgiveness of their Lord. They are marching fast to a Jannah, a paradise bigger than the heavens and the earth. It was made for the muttaqeen. Who are they? Those who spend their money for the sake of Allah, in secret and in public. In the time of ease and the time of hardship. And those who control their anger. And those who forgive others. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Those who forgive others. And Allah يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the muhsin, the one who is good to others. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. When you hold the resistment toward others and willing to forgive them, you are bound to that same exact person that you don't like, that you're angry at, you are bound to that person by emotion link stronger than steel. Forgiveness is the only thing going to dissolve that link and set you free. I just imagine, if I have something in my heart against one person, that brother, that sister, that means I'm connecting myself to that person with a link, as I said, is stronger than steel, and a negative emotion in my heart because I hate it, I can't stand him, I'm angry at him. That's a negative emotion, that's right. I'm connecting myself. As long as I don't forgive that person, I'm linked to that person. The moment I forgive him, that dissolves. That link between me and him, that negative feelings and emotion that feeding my heart, feeding my mind, and draining my power, making me stressed, it will dissolve. You set yourself free. Let him go. Who cares? It's not the end of the world. لذلك subhanallah, one of the best rewards of forgiveness immediately happened to you because you set yourself free. Al-Fudayl ibn Iyad rahimahullah, he was told in the masjid, somebody have stolen your money. He had this money in a bag and it was stolen from him. So Al-Fudayl seen later on crying. So one of the people said, who loves Al-Fudayl, who thought Al-Fudayl crying because he lost the money. So he said, yeah, Imam, I can give you money if you want. He doesn't know Al-Fudayl. Fudayl never cared about money. Then he said, I'm not crying because I lost the money. Then he said, so what you were crying? What's the reason? Why are you crying? He said, because I just came to my mind, the day of judgment, when I stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, me and that person who stole my money. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him for why he stole the money, how did he get that money? And I put myself in his shoes, where I have no answer to offer. And I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him, that's why I'm crying. What a heart. You know, there is a great Shafi'i scholar by the name of Imam An-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, or Nawawi. Kan yawm al-ayyam, one of the night was praying in his house. A thief jumped in his house, inside his house. Couldn't find anything except Imam Nawawi's shoes. He took Imam Nawawi's shoes and left. Imam Nawawi was praying, he felt the noise, and he realized that somebody jumped in, took Imam Nawawi wasn't married. He stole his shoes and left. So Imam Nawawi opened the door, he finished the salah quickly and went after him. So the thief running and Imam Nawawi running after him. You know why? You know why? To capture him? To get his shoes back? No. He was screaming at him, he said, هي هدية هي عطية قل قبلت هي عطية قل قبلت هي عطية قل قبلت. It's a gift to you, please say I accept it. Yani Imam Nawawi rahimahullah tried it because the Shafi'iyya, it's a aqd, the gift is a form of transaction. Any transaction, any business transaction, there is offer and acceptance. Okay? Stealing, there is no transaction. It's a stealing, no offer and acceptance. You just steal. So Imam Nawawi tried to transfer this action from stealing to make it as a gift. So he said, it's a gift to you, please say I accept. Because if he said I accept, it became a gift, not anymore a stolen item. These hearts, a heart were successfully able to deal with people because they don't hold anything in their heart. And the best example, and I kept it for the last, is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How many times we learn from his life his ability to forgive his enemy before forgiving his friends, before forgiving his family member, before forgiving your father or your sister or your cousins or your spouse or your children. Why our heart is so solid that not willing to forgive? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the day of Uhud, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his face covered with blood. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of his face and he see the blood. And you know, ما أفلح قوم أدموا نبيهم. No success will ever come to a nation that they made their prophet bleed, or they bleed the prophet, or they basically hurt the prophet and make him bleed. Then when he saw the bleeding, what the Prophet response was, he said, "Oh Allah, forgive my ummah, forgive my people, forgive my tribe. They don't know, they are ignorant." And when he conquered Mecca, he said, "You're all free to go. اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء." These are not just a nice story we entertain ourselves with it. These stories is meant to be role model for us in our life if we want to achieve a good social life. Number 11. If you want to have a good social life, try to avoid argument. Argumentation is a distract. It destroy your life. Destroy your social life, destroy your marital relationship with your wife, destroy your friendship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَنَسُوا حَظًّا مِّمَّا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَأَغْرَيْنَا بَيْنَهُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ. In Surah 5, verse 14, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they neglected. فَنَسُوا هنا يعني عَمْدًا تَرَكُوا. وليس النسيان بغير عمد بغير قصد. They forgot. No. They neglect. That's the right translation. They neglect part of the book or the message that was sent to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah made them enemy towards one another. Listen to one of the great scholars among the tabi'een, what he said as a comment on this verse. قال إمام إبراهيم النخعي رحمه الله قال أغرى بينهم العداوة والبغضاء في الخصومات والجدل. That Allah made them argue with each other. And because of this argument, in arguing with each other, that's what led them to hate one another and to fight one another. ولذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, أبغض الرجال إلى الله الألد الخصم. The most hated man to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who argue. And when he argue, he is so aggressive in his argument. So mean in his argument. And avoid argumentation that would lead to destruction. Because arguing, it's happened. We cannot avoid it completely. But not to be a person who known that you like always to argue. Some brothers, even in my community sometimes, I have some people, Ya akhi, you don't open any subject. And he's willing to debate you over it. Khalas, give me a break, man. People just want to argue over anything. For nothing, they're willing to spend 10 minutes arguing with you. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah have prepared a beautiful house on the lower level in Jannah for those who will avoid argumentation, even if they have the truth. Even if I'm right, 100% correct, and I know that this person argue with wrong, and his opinion is absolutely wrong, but I avoid it, I just leave it alone, because I don't want to argue, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward me with that house. Number 10, which is interesting. Simple, but will assure you a very happy social life. Very simple, easy act. It's an act of charity. It's an act that Allah loves and everyone else, which is smiling. Smiling, it is the second best things that you can do with your lips after dhikrullah. Okay? So it is the curve that make everything straight. Smiling is such a beautiful habit. Listen to what Jabir said. He said, I never met the Prophet ﷺ unless I saw him smiling. And another companion said, I met the Prophet more than 100 times. And every time I met him, I found him smiling. Aisha, she was asked about the Prophet ﷺ at home, how he looked like. He said, he was the person who smiles and laughs the most. Because some people, mashallah, big smile outside the house, inside the house. Wallah, it's a very bad habit. I don't know where we picked it up from as Muslims. We think smiling is bad, or smiling it make you like less of personality. Especially you get old, you don't smile. You think that's, you know, that's nonsense. Muhammad sallallahu better than you no matter who you are. And the Nabi sallallahu never left his smile until he died sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I travel a lot all over the world. Sometimes when I travel, I check that. I go to Jumu'ah Masjid. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, I'm saying this and I hope this will change. And I say this everywhere I go. I go to the Jumu'ah to give the khutbah al-Jumu'ah. I can tell you 70%, if it's not more, in the people in the masjid. Not when I'm giving the khutbah, I'm just walking between them. Checking me out. You know, I go to the airport, I don't know who picking me up. In America, you know, it's not like here. It's kind of quite a difference. So one of the things, sometimes you need to look carefully to find who is the Muslim, you know, in the crowd. So anyway, so many times I recognize the brothers. I look at the people in the waiting area, the people who don't smile, oh, these are my people. The people like this. Ya akhi, smile, your teeth is not awra. Show it. You know, some people just lost their smile. But the good news is, for those who lost their smile, the good news for them is that your smile didn't go anywhere. It's just right under your nose. Just right there. Yes, a smile. Smiling is not going to make people around you happy. It's going to make you happy. You know, every single study today in psychology saying that the people's physiology affect their psychology. The way you put, the mood you put yourself in, that's how you're going to feel. If you smile, if you open your chest, if you basically raise your head up, you will feel good. But if you basically hush your shoulder, you look down, you look like this, you're going to feel bad. Believe it, you're going to have a negative feelings. And you're going to feel down. So smile and shine. That will assure a very good, happy life, social life for you. Number 9, respect. You want a happy social life? You need to know how to respect others. Respect is a very easy word to say by word, but it requires a lot of paying attention to it. Respect is a missing ingredient, unfortunately, in our social life today. Especially with young kids, with young generation. You know, I can't imagine, you know, one of the things that's really making me so impressed with Killian when he came to me, the way he talks to me, because most of the kids in his age, and I really thank his father for that, and his mother for that, but most of the kids in his age, you know what? Parents, I see this in my kid, I don't know how about you guys. Abba talk to the kids or mother talk to the kids, and he's like playing games. Yeah, mom, okay. Where's the respect? You didn't even look at your father. You didn't even look at your mother. You know, you talk to them and they don't even give you, they don't even have a, one of the things that drive me crazy, okay? When somebody give me salam, yeah, I'm doing like this. And I hold his hand, I said, hey, if you want to give me salam, you want to shake my hand, you better look to my eyes. And I all teach my kids this. If you give salam to someone, you stop, you give salam, you look at the eyes. Ya akhi, in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when somebody called him, when the Prophet sallallahu walking, and somebody called him, he never sallallahu answer like this. Yaqul ibn Kathir, he will move and he will face the person's chest. They said, yes. That's a respect. Second. That's what you call respect. Respect, it has to be with everyone, not only with the sheikh. Sometimes I'm outside the masjid and I have a brother talking to me. Someone come to me, Assalamu alaikum sheikh, and that guy will be even not giving salam. Respect is not only to the sheikh and to the person. Respect is not only to the elder and to the children. So many older people, they don't give respect to the young kids, which is absolutely not acceptable. We respect everyone. Respect is a khuluq, is a manner, should be carried with everyone that we deal with. We respect Muslim and non-Muslim. We respect family member and non-family member. We respect older and young. But no doubt, the elder deserve more respect. But as a respect given to religious and non-religious people. And we should show that type of respect, because that's part of akhlaq al-mu'mineen. Part of the respect, you don't mock, you don't be sarcastic, you don't humiliate. This is not, and you can imagine all kind of things that it goes against that concept of respect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Hujurat, you can read in this surah so many aspects of respect. Allah emphasis on it. Don't mock one another, don't make fun of one another, and so forth. Let's go down quickly. Number 7, if you want to have a happy social life, have a positive attitude. You know, there's a big difference between someone who has a negative attitude and somebody have positive attitude. Those who always complaining, those who always criticizing, those who always angry, those who always sad, those who always pointing the problems, those who only focus on the wrong things, those who always talking about, mention negative words. Oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, it's not working out. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I don't. This negative attitude, it make your social life miserable and make no one ever want to come closer to you. Even the closest people to you, even your own family member, they don't want to talk to you more than 2 minutes. Because this negativity in talk, it doesn't take you anywhere. You sit with someone, the Prophet ﷺ, what the Prophet said, he said, whoever said all people are bad, he is the worst. He said, "Man قال هلك الناس فهو أهلكهم." He is the worst. Whoever said all people are going to be destroyed, he is the one who is the most deserving to be destroyed. He is the worst among them. Also, number 6, you want to have, we're just trying to wrap it up in 5 minutes. If you want to have a happy life, social life, truthfulness. It's nothing like being truthful. As-sidq. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna min sharri al-nasi inda Allah." One of the worst people in front of Allah, the one who has 2 faces. He meets you with one face, and behind you another face. And unfortunately, some people have 3 faces. الصلاة ونصف and it's so bad. This is like another big problem, and quickly you will be figured out. Truthfulness is one of the secret for people's love. الناس يحبون I love to be with someone I can trust. He's a truthful person. Number 5, humility. Humility is another reason for you to have a happy social life. People like to be around those who are humble. Those who don't see themselves better than others. Ya akhi, nobody knows who is better than except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna akramakum inda Allah yatqakum. And the more taqwa you have, the more you put yourself down. The Prophet ﷺ says, Inna Allah awha ilayya an tawada'u hatta la yafkhara ahadun ala ahad. In Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah have revealed to me that we should have humility towards one another. We should not feel better. You should not feel you're better than your brother. Al-Imam, subhanallah, Ibn Umar radiallahu anh, the companion, he was seen eating with people very poor. Very poor. Okay? And one of the people told Ibn Umar, why do you eat with such people? Like, they smell bad, they're very bad, very, فيهم جذام, have some diseases. Then Ibn Umar said, Wallahi, you don't know. Maybe this man in the day of judgment will be one of the kings of the akhirah. قال والله لعل هذا ملك من ملوك الآخرة. Maybe this will be king. I'll tell you my own story. I was in middle school. Okay? This is in the end of my years in middle school, which is basically, we have 6 years elementary, then 3 years in middle school. I was in 3rd year, 9th grade. And this is my first time to meet someone I heard a lot about him. I heard a lot about his knowledge. I learned a lot about him. He is the Grand Mufti of the country that I'm living in, which is Saudi Arabia at that time. His name is Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Abdullah bin Baz rahimahullah, known as the father, Al-Walid. I'm a kid, in 9th grade, and now going to see this Grand Mufti. This is my first encounter with Sheikh bin Baz in his house. I was not impressed, I'll tell you. What really stuck in my head until this moment, not the amount of knowledge and the fatwas and the hadith and the quoting that he did. No. What stuck my head, this alhamdulillah also I appreciate, but what stuck to my head and made me feel and fall in love, the social aspect, fall in love with this man, that moment until today, is what happened next. The food comes. It was lunch. Then he invited everybody to lunch. I was able to sit with there's too many people, and I came and I basically run, kind of almost like running to ensure a spot on the. We sit on the floor. There is a big, huge, plate and people around it. A kid's in 9th grade sitting in the same table or the same sitting with the Grand Mufti. That's in itself something. Wallahi al-Azim, Allah is my witness. The person was next to me is a person with his, overall the clothes, the one who cleaned the streets outside. The guy who cleaned the street. They have very distinguished orange dress. Was next to me. In the same table, we all have our hands in the rice and the meat we eat with him. And with us, a person, I don't know who he is. I was a kid, I don't know. But I know because they said Al-Amir, so he's a person from royal family. He had a guest who was a minister of Awqaf from one country. He has 2 dignitaries from African countries as well. And even with them, there is a police, and I don't know who they are. I was a kid, I don't even today know who they are. And the rest are shuyukh and student of knowledge. But for me, to be able to sit a kid and the people on that level, all of us sitting together like that, it was a shock. What catch my heart is the humility, the tawadu. And Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah was told so many times by people, Sheikh bin Baz, 30 years he never had lunch with his family. 30 years he never had a single day lunch with his family, they said. Always with the public. They told him, Sheikh, sometimes these people come from the street and they smell bad. He said, whoever like it, come to my lunch. You don't like it, eat and come meet me after that. I don't ever tell anyone I don't pick my guests. My door is open for everybody. This is a happy social life. Let's make you loved when you are a person of humility. Number 4, being patient. Because people hard to deal with. It's not easy to deal with people. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, الَّذِي يُخَالِطُ النَّاسِ وَيَصْبَرَ عَلَى أَذَاهُمْ خَيْرٌ مِّن الَّذِي لَا يُخَالِطُهُمْ وَلَا يَصْبَرَ عَلَى أَذَاهُمْ. The person who mixes with people and is patient with them, better than the person who avoids them completely. So you have to be patient with people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ. Be patient. Number 3, which is very interesting point to keep in mind. Let small things go. You know what? This is not the forgiveness. No. I mean, have the attitude of التغافل. قيل 19 التعامل مع الناس بالتغافل. يعني 90% of your success with people that you let small things go. Don't pick on people. Don't be like, the audited company goes and pick every single thing in your, numbers when you have been audited by the government or something. No, just let things go. And this is very good, especially dealing with relatives. Just let small things go. Don't be judgmental and think of yourself responsible for other people's action and everything happen, you have to comment on it. 2, purify your tongue. You want to have a happy social life? Make their tongue pure. Bad words, curse, all these, initiative words that represent bad words, don't have it in your tongue. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, المؤمن ليس باللعان ولا بالطعان ولا بالفاحش البذيء. The mu'min, a person who don't curse. A mu'min is a person who don't say bad words. لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء من القول. Allah hates to hear you saying bad words. Replace it with good words, ya akhi. Which is the next point. Replace it with good word. Instead say, Allah barik feek, Ya Rabbi akhalik, Ya Rabbi. Make dua for the people. That will make a happy life for you, a happy social life for you, which is choosing good words. And the last one is, guess what? To ensure a happy social life, what will be number 1 in my list? Have a good relationship with Allah. Have a good relationship with Allah. It's an amazing. When you are having a good relationship with Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls the hearts of people. Inna Allah idha ahabba abdan. When Allah loves someone, He makes His creation loves him as well. In the hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, Aisha once wrote a letter to Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. She said, Ya Muawiyah, اعلم أنه ما من أحد عاد مادحه من الناس ذاما لا إلا بذنب قد أذنبه. Ya Muawiyah, I want you 100% to know that there is no one was used to be praised by the people, then later on those people start criticizing him, unless this has happened because of a sin that he committed. So if you want to have a good social life, make sure that you have a good relationship with Allah. So the points very quickly again. Number one, have a great relationship with Allah. Number 2, have a good wordings, like use good words. Number 3, purify your tongue. Number 4, let small things go. Number 5, be patient. Number 6, humility. Number 7, truthfulness. Number 8, positive attitude. Number 9, respect. Number 10, smiling. Number 11, avoiding argument. Number 12, forgiveness. Number 13, focus on your own matters. Number 14, self-confidence. And number 15, realize that pleasing all people is impossible. These are 15 points. You can think of some of them, utilize them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you all happy life. Because wallahi, happiness is one of the ultimate goal of Sharia. Sharia want us to live a happy life. Islam want us to be happy people. And that's the Sharia's rules come to make us happy. So please make this as a goal of your life, to have a happy social life, to have a happy life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the happiness in the dunya and the akhirah. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad. And thank you very much for listening to me for all this long lecture. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah Shaykh. Inshallah we delay the questions if we can any. So anyhow, a few minutes left for the Isha prayer. So I don't think there is a time for questions. So we listen
can
to the
answer
adhan,
until the
and after the adhan, inshallah, if the Sheikh can take 1 or 2 questions, that would be okay, inshallah.
After Isha?
لا خلاص. People get bored خلاص.
Yeah. Go ahead with the adhan.
الله
ما
أكبر
نبي ندخل على الناس يا شيخ الساعة 9:30 أنا حاسس إن أنا أثقلت عليهم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Quickly, we have a couple of questions here. So, inshallah, the Sheikh is going to answer. The first question says, could the Sheikh please advise a wife struggling to raise kids upon the deen while the dad is absent?
Yes. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, for the sister who is struggling with raising the kids while the dad is absent, I don't know why his absence, but I want to say to the sister, there is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, even those hadiths speaking about the widow, but I see no difference, unfortunately, in some cases between the widow and the case of an absent father all the time. The Prophet ﷺ said that today a woman will be raising with the Prophet ﷺ to the gates of Jannah. And the Prophet said, who's this woman? Then he was told that this is a woman who her husband passed away and left for her kids, and she spent her life looking after them. So I know it's a big struggle. That's why you deserve that kind of reward. So I will never underestimate the amount of effort and struggle that you have. So that's something I would like to commend you and tell you, Jazakallah khair, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you. As for how to raise the kids, as you know, kids are on different ages. If they are young, if they are teenager, if they are, I don't know what the age of your kids are. But I want you to make sure that you win their trust. Especially if they are a little bit older. Even if they are very young in age, talk to them the way you talk to adults. And this is very effective way of raising the kids. The more you treat your kids like adults, the more responsible they will be. I don't want to mention one specific family too many times. But one of the things I like when Killian came to me, he acted like an adult. And the father let him talk on behalf of the community to invite me to the masjid. The more you teach your kids to act like adults, the more responsible they will be. It's a very successful, very smart way of raising your kids. Very smart way of raising kids. And that's something, even little ones, you speak to them like, mature, they will be mature. So that's one thing. And make sure that the religion, something they understand why they're doing this. Make sure that they love it. Don't ever make the religion a form of punishment. I'm going to punish you if you don't do that. Don't make them hate or make them love the religion. Give prizes, make them feel proud of the religion. It's not about how much they memorize or they know. It's about how much they love it, how much they practice it. Make it practical, make it appear to them, and so forth. It's very hard to speak about something very ambiguous like that, but I hope, inshallah, you also seek help from people like yourself. I would love to see Muslim increasing the number of what we call support group. This is a very successful method used in modern days around us. Support group in so many areas. Why we don't have this as support group to single mothers, to mothers who are struggling with kids? Why we don't have this masjid? What's the name of this masjid, by the way? Masjid?
Quranic Marcus Trust.
MashaAllah. Right. So why we don't say in this masjid, we have, the father who have teenagers, they come together and they discuss. They talk about their struggle with teenager. The mother come and talk together about it. Make it a concern. Share the success stories, because we can copy it from one another. It's either socially or physically, you guys come, social media, virtually, or you can even come together and talk about it. Maybe that will be, I've tried this in my own masjid and it's working fine for us.
Too many marriage failures.
Yeah, that's another problem. Allah musta'an.
Okay, the last question for the Sheikh. how can you ask someone for forgiveness if you are not in contact anymore or they are no longer available?
To forgive someone, you didn't need to talk to the person. How can you ask someone to forgive you, maybe? Okay. If you talk about you forgiving someone, you don't need to have that person in front of you. But if you're talking about, I did wrong to someone, and I want to ask him to forgive me, but now I have no contact with that person, I will say that you make dua for that person. Make dua for them. Maybe you can make even good deeds on his behalf. I don't make any advertising or anything like that, but I would like to have you guys, whoever use Facebook, go ahead and join my Facebook. But I posted a story this week about this issue. Story of a teacher of mine, and let me end with this quickly. I was walking with him out of his masjid, and all of a sudden this old car stopped. A worker came out from Pakistan. He's a Pakistani worker. He came out and he gives salam to my sheikh, to my teacher. So when he gave him salam, my teacher was very surprised. Ahlan, where you been? Blah, blah. Then he said, come tomorrow. This worker did some work to the sheikh, half job. I think he has no residency or, no work. He was picked by the immigration. Whatever happened to him, he left the job. So after years, the sheikh saw him. After 5 years, the sheikh saw him with me. So he told him to come tomorrow to give him his money. He said, I never finished the job. He said, yes, but you have 1,500 riyals I owe you. I have to give it to you. I thought to myself, why he didn't pay him? I mean, for Saudi guy, $1,500, 15 riyals, it's like, pocket money. He has in his pocket. Especially this man is rich. So next day when he came, he showed him the picture that he just received. The sheikh, I stayed 1.5 years looking for you everywhere. Your friend, I traveled to your place, I couldn't find you. So when I couldn't find you, what he did, he built a masjid on his name on Pakistan. And he just got the picture, subhanAllah, the masjid just finished. And this worker showed up. So he showed him the masjid and he said, I couldn't find you, so I built this masjid for you as in return for the service that you gave me, and I couldn't pay you because I didn't get a chance to pay you. And I asked him later on how much the masjid cost. He refused, but I get to know it's at least way more than 35,000 riyals. And he gave him the 1,500 riyals. He actually gave him the money, then he showed him the masjid. So I learned from this that sometimes if you can't see the person, you can pray to him in his absence, make sadaqah on his behalf, make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turn that person's heart and to accept you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so forgiving. So if he sees you sincere, I guarantee he will not put you down. It's a pleasure to see you guys, inshallah. Hopefully next time when I come to meet you. And finally, if you allowed me, inshallah, in June 7th and 9th, June 7th and 9th, a very dear friend of mine will be visiting you guys here in London. And he will be talking about the description of paradise and hellfire in a course called Forever. Please look at the event marker calendar and join us on the Maghrib inshallah class on the 7th and 9th of June, inshallah ta'ala, with Sheikh Riyad Azazi in a course called Forever. And this must have been a wonderful support to all of us. I thank you guys again for having me, Sheikh, and all the community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala اللهم انزل رحمتك على اهل هذا المسجد يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم انزل عليهم رحمتك. اللهم اجعلهم متحابين في سبيلك. اللهم اجعلهم متعاونين على دينك. اللهم الف بين قلوبهم واصلح ذات بينهم واجعلنا واياهم من الصالحين وارزقنا واياهم جنات النعيم والحقنا واياهم بالصالحين يا حي يا قيوم يا ذا الجلال والاكرام. وصل اللهم على محمد واله وصحبه اجمعين.
جزاكم الله خير يا شيخ.
Thank you.